We are told now that the maximum number of grams of fat, which we're going to call F, that's the maximum number of grams of fat, that should be in a person's diet varies directly as a person's weight. All right, let's write the equation. We have the maximum number of fat, grams of fat, varies directly as a person's weight. And we're told this, a person weighing 129 pounds should have no more than 86 grams. All right, so we're told this. W equals 129, and the amount of fat should be 86. So let's put these numbers in our equation and solve for K. So we will get 86 equals K times 129, or K equals 86 over 129. So that gives us this variation equation. F is equal to 86 over 129 W. And then we've got this question. What is the maximum daily fat intake? All right, so find F when W is 75. All right, so what I want to do here is I want to find F when W equals 75. So let's just substitute. I'll do it up here. So F is equal to 86 over 129 times 75. So I'll put this in my calculator as 86 divided by 129 times 75, and I got this. I got 50. So I'll write the answer. The answer is not F equals 50. Here's the answer. They're asking us a question, so we'll answer it in a sentence. The maximum daily intake of fat for a person weighing 75 pounds is 50 grams. Here's a nice example out of physics. We know that Hooke's law states that the distance d that a spring will stretch varies directly as the mass of an object hanging from the spring. All right, so here's what we have. Here's a spring in this picture over here. All right, so there's a spring here that's connected to something up here. Now, if you put a weight on it, it's going to stretch the spring. So we're told that the distance right here, the distance d that the spring will stretch varies directly as the mass. So we can write that, right? We can write this. We can write the distance d varies directly as the mass. So there's our variation equation. Now we can, given d and m, we can find k. So we know this, that if a 5 kilogram mass stretches the spring 66 centimeters, so we know this. When m equals 5, then we get a stretch, d is equal to 66. So let's put these numbers in and compute and get k. So we'll get 66 equals k times 5, or k is equal to 66 over 5. So here's our variation equation. D is equal to 66 over 5m. So what we want to do now is this. We want to find how far, so find D, will a 7 kilogram mass stretch the spring. All right, so I want to find D when m is equal to 7. So let's substitute these numbers. We will get D, see if I can get it to right here, D is equal to 66 over 5 times 7. So on my calculator, I'm going to put 66 divided by 5 times 7. So we will get D equals, all right, now I got 92.4. But I know how these answers are sometimes supposed to be written, so I could use 92.4, or I could write it like this. All right, 66 times 7 divided by 5. This is 462 divided by 5. And then if I make that division, or if I actually do this, 5 into 462, all right, 5 will go into 46 9 times. That gives me 45. Subtract, I get, okay, 5 into 12 is 2. That gives me 10. I'm left with 2. I could write this, 92 and 2/5. All right, so the answer, when you look at it, could be given as a decimal or as this mixed number, and they're not really telling us how to write it, so I think either one of these would be good, but let's write the answer. So I'll write the answer like this. A 7-kilogram mass will stretch the spring 92.4 centimeters, or instead of 92.4, if you wanted to use the 92 and 2/5 centimeters, that works too. So now what we're going to do is find the equation of variation where y varies inversely as the square of x. Let's write that. Y varies inversely, so the k goes on top and the square of x goes on the bottom. Now we can find k because we know from here y is equal to 0.91 and x is equal to 0.1. So let's substitute those numbers in. So we'll get 0.91 is equal to k over, now this is going to be 0.1 for x squared. So k is going to equal 0.91 times 0.1 squared. So just on your calculator, put it in just like this. 0.91 times 0.1 squared, and we will get k is equal to 0.0091. So our variation equation is y equals 0.0091 all over x squared. And that's all we're looking for. Let's find the equation of variation in which y varies jointly as x and y. Now, jointly means we're going to multiply those together as a product. So what we have is this. We're given that y varies, there's constant variation jointly, as x and z. Now, let's get k when, here's what we have. Y equals 21 when x is 3 and z is 7. So we'll put these numbers in and find k. So we'll get 21 is equal to k times x, which is 3, times z, which is 7. Oh, how about that? So 21 is equal to k times 21. So k is equal to 1. So here's our variation equation. Y is just equal to 1 times, I'll write it, 1 times xz, or how about y equals xz? That's what we're looking for. Find an equation of variation in which y varies jointly, or essentially multiplication. Y varies jointly as x and z, and inversely, I got a division, as this product of w and p. Let's see if we can write that. So y varies, now I see inverse. As soon as I see that word inverse, I'm going to draw a fraction bar, and k always goes in the top. So what do we have in the top? Y varies jointly as x and z. So in the top we're going to have x and z, and in the bottom where it varies inversely as what? The product, so the multiplication of w and p. So WP goes down here. There's our general variation equation. Now let's get the specific one by substituting values. So here's what we know. Y is equal to 3 over 27, which is a strange thing because that's just 1/9. X equals 3, Z equals 15, W equals 3, and P equals 27. All right, so let's just put all these numbers back into our equation. I'll take all these numbers, put them into the equation here. So we'll get Y, I'll just write it as 3 over 27 since that's how they're giving it to us. 3 over 27 is equal to K times X, which is 3, times Z, which is 15, over W, which is 3, times P, which is 27. Let's make these multiplications. So we will get 3 over 27 is equal to, now 3 times 15 is 45K over 3 times 27 is 81. So let's solve it for k. So we are going to get, I'll do it up here on the top right. We'll get 3 over 27. Now I'm going to multiply by that 81, right? Times 81, that's equal to 45k. Now, 3 times 81 is 243 over 27 equals 45k. Now let's divide by that 45. So we'll get 243 over 27 divided by 45. That's equal to k. Now this 243 over 27, this is the same as divided by 45 over 1. So I'll get 243 over 27 times, invert multiply, right? 1 over 45. So in my calculator, I'm going to put 243 divided by 27 times 1 divided by 45. And I get that this is equal to 0.2. So that's k. So here's my equation of variation. I'm going to write it up here on the top right. Y is equal to 0.2, say 0.2 xz, all divided by WP.